Alistair the Reem Overeem taking on Mark Hunt. The Reem can be had for -145. Mark Hunt plus 125. I already know which side of the coin you are on.
We could be wrong.
It's the heavyweight coin.
I know. I had a terrible dream last night, though, Paul. I was in a terrible labyrinth, but I was like, no, Mark Hunt, don't let him get a hold of you. He's trying to clinch you, Mark Hunt. No! And basically it ends with Mark Hunt not being able to create that separation.
Eating knees to the body?
Well, with Alistair Overeem, when we're talking about this in his last, say, 4 fights, especially prior to the Stipe fight, is that he's fighting far smarter than he's ever fought.
100%. He's aware. We've seen it with guys like Mutanche. We've seen it with other people. Who else is Overeem, obviously. People who have become self-aware of the fact that they're not able to take the same amount of punishment anymore, so they fight a safer style. Not everybody is capable of changing their game plan up like that.
No,
but he has been.
And here's the thing, right? Let's say you're Gray Maynard, and you're like, oof, I can't take no damage anymore. And by the way, he hasn't really changed his approach. But a guy like that, if you try to change your approach, what are you relying on now? That one punch kill, and it didn't work against Ryan Hall. No. Now you've become a very flat version of yourself. Yeah. At heavyweight, you could pretty much just start throwing one punch at a time. And as we've seen with Alistair Overeem, especially if that one punch lands, it's more than enough. Now, if you're going to go chin for chin, Mark Hunt's chin is far superior than Alistair Overeem's. Overeem's been KO'd 10 times in his career. I think that matches Andrei Arlovski.
That hasn't disappeared.
That hasn't disappeared, and at heavyweight, it's never going to disappear.
No.
And when you look at, his last number of fights, he's been a lot smarter. But in that Stipe fight, as soon as the heat starts to get a little hot, he's going to get hit.
He goes back to his old form.
Yeah, because, it's what it is at the end of the day. Mark Hunt has all those abilities, but we really thought the guy's takedown defense is improving huge. And as a result, you got to stand with him. And if you're Bigfoot Silva or you're Frank Mir, quite frankly, you can't stand with him. But there's no denying that Alistair Overeem, to a certain extent, as long as he's not eating that big shot, he can stand with him. He's as good standing. It's just his ability to weather the shot isn't as good as his ability to deliver the shot. And I don't like the fact that he's a fairly sizable favorite here over Mark Hunt. But Mark Hunt's got so much going on in his life in terms of, you know what? I've fought guys that have failed drug tests in his last 3 fights. I'm not doing this anymore. Well, why are you taking the Alistair Overeem fight? This guy's made a lot of money in his career. They offered him a buyout, which he declined, and then Hunt went on to win far more in purse earnings than he would have ever taken that buyout. Yet he talks about, they forced me into this fight with Overeem because I'm broke and I need the money. I don't like to hear stuff like that, Paul. I don't. Is this a guy showing up for his paycheck, or is this a guy that wants to make another title run? Because Overeem, if anything, is very determined to make another title run, which I don't think he's going to do, which I don't think he'll ever get another shot. But he's a guy that's determined to do so, and I think that he has the skills. And that's not even talking about the first time they fought, in which the fight just ends up on the ground. Not a takedown by Overeem, by the way, but the fight ends up on the ground, and we really see that Overeem is far superior on the ground.
In fairness, it does look like Overeem is clean these days.
And he wasn't the first time they fought. and Mark Hunt was. So obviously there's some dynamic changes, but Hunt's 42 years old, man.
My issue here is this, if this turns into a shot for shot, I'm going with the chin.
Of course.
The funny thing about this line, I'm on Hunt here. Plus 125, I got to take the dog money against Overeem and his chin. I just think Hunt can take whatever beating comes his way and then deliver. It won't take much. He'll take one big shot, and I think Mark Hunt can put him away. Mark Hunt by KO is actually plus 120.
Shocking.
Mark Hunt straight up is plus 125 right now, so it's actually better value.
Not gonna
just Mark Hunt straight up. I'm sure that line is probably changing, but it's just funny. It's just like they're basically only saying that he can only win by knockout in this fight.
Well, essentially. I mean,
tend to agree. He's taking on
he's beating Vanderlei Crow Cup by decision.
The bigger, longer, better overall athlete. You know, it's obvious, but his ability to take damage, that hasn't gone anywhere. That's going to still be there.
But how much of Mark Hunt is a one-round fighter? I mean, when he's knocking out Bigfoot and knocking out Frank Mir, it's the one round. When he's forced to go multiple rounds, he ends up in a fight like the Stipe Miocic fight or the Brock Lesnar fight. The guy's got a bad gas tank. I mean,
those are two guys taking him down and being able to hold him down.
Yeah, which is definitely something that Overeem's going to have a far harder time doing because he's not a collegiate wrestling champion like those. Well, not even Stipe wasn't a champion, but you know what I mean. He's not that American-bred style wrestler to be able to get him down. But once again, when Mark Hunt runs out of gas, he's a zero threat, non-threat. He doesn't have the power to throw anymore. He gets really tired, and you're able to take him down. When we talk about Overeem being smart and picking his punches, that doesn't just apply to striking. That also applies to that Stefan Struve fight where, well, I'm a much better striker than this guy. And I've trained with him, and I'm sure I've beat him many times in the gym. But he's really big, and he's really long. And my chin's not that great, but I can take him down. And when I take him down, I can pound him. So he gets the takedown. It's like a rugby-style tackle, but it works because Overeem's a pretty big dude. If the takedown materializes against Hunt, we know it's in Overeem's world. There's no takedown to worry about if you're Overeem. You can keep a high guard, try to just stay away from this guy, and try to bait him. I don't like the line. I'm a huge Mark Hunt fan, as you know, but I got to be smart. I can't just bet my favorite fighter because he's my favorite fighter, you know? Unless it's Joe Riggs in a bare-knuckle boxing match in England. I know that guy's going to win. I'm going to bet him.
So what, you're passing?
No, I'm going to take Alistair Overeem. But I'm not happy about it, and I will not be putting a copious amount of money.
One of those bet the one side, and then you're happy both ways. You either win money or your favorite fighter wins.
I say that all the time.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't ever do that.
Hey, listen, if Overeem wins, it's like, oh, no, but bang, and if Hunt wins, it's like, oh, no, yeah, all right, Hunt. Keep the war wagon rolling, baby.